So you just got the Nintendo Switch 2 and you're probably thinking, I should pick up some accessories for this thing. That's exactly what I did, but I ran into a few problems. The first problem, the accessories you can buy are a bit overpriced, not customizable, and half the time they're either out of stock or won't arrive before that poorly planned business trip that you totally forgot to plan for. Second problem, there were accessories that I wanted that just don't exist. I checked online, I checked stores, I checked everywhere. Nothing. Fortunately, Bambu Labs had sent me one of their H2 machines, which comes in 3 flavors, the H2S, H2D, and the new H2C, along with a bunch of filament. And because this is a part of their H2 line, which has a laser, plotter, and cutter add-on, I received a bunch of alternative materials like wood, acrylic, and vinyl for use with this machine to solve this problem. Could I print the accessories that are too expensive or too slow to arrive, and also print the accessories I wish existed but didn't? After a lot of printing and experimentation, the answer was yes, mostly. So let's begin. First up, we have the steering wheel. Retail options run about $24 for a 2-pack. That's $12 per wheel for a piece of plastic that does nothing electronically. It just kind of makes your Joy-Con feel like a teeny tiny steering wheel. If you're printing it for yourself, about $2.60 in filament, and you can make it in whatever color that you want. Plus, the community design actually adds features Nintendo left out, like a spring-loaded mechanism for resistance and an optional desk mount. It turns your desk into a Formula 1 racer. One of the major complaints with the Switch 2 is that the Joy-Cons were clearly engineered for the hands of a child. How dare you, Nintendo, design a console with the design aesthetics of kids? Aren't video games only for adults? Oh wait, I've got that backwards. Playing for more than 20 minutes is a one-way ticket through the carpal tunnel. I'm working on a custom grip that perfectly conforms to your hands. But that prototype isn't finished yet, so for now we've attempted to solve the problem that the grips are just too small. And I do get that hands come in all shapes and sizes, but the default Joy-Cons are a little on the small side. So these designs help to beef up the grip on the Joy-Cons. I printed out a couple of these, and honestly, this design that includes a TPU grip is my absolute favorite. And it really makes use of the dual extrusion design on the print head of the H2D and H2C that allowed me to print with PLA and TPU simultaneously, which under normal circumstances typically causes nozzle contamination and makes the print fail. The grip has both firm components, and squishy TPU 85A has the best feel. However, for those of you who feel the Joy-Cons are still too big, I still haven't found a design that reduces the grip size. So for anyone with baby hands, or parents who actually let their babies play Mario Kart, you're on your own. A new pair of Joy-Cons costs about $100. That is really expensive. Fortunately, Nintendo added wireless backwards compatibility with the original Joy-Cons, and if you own the original Switch, then you have plenty of original Joy-Cons lying around. Physically though, the old Joy-Cons don't physically fit in the Switch 2 until now. This printed adapter bridges the gap, and to be clear, it doesn't charge them, it just holds them in place. So instead of calling these old Joy-Cons, we now call them legacy support. It's a 10-cent print that saves you $100. Slam dunk. Nintendo loves a gimmick. From the Power Glove to the Virtual Boy to blowing on your Nintendo 3DS, that's a thing, look it up. Nintendo was always trying to push new functionality with its consoles. So it comes as no surprise that they did this very same thing with the Switch 2. On the new Joy-Cons, there's a tiny optical sensor that lets you flip it sideways and use it like a mouse. Unfortunately, the ergonomics are not great. Holding a Joy-Con sideways is very uncomfortable, although it does make those people with baby hands feel more confident that their hands are much bigger. Regardless, still uncomfortable. You could buy a plastic grip for 20 bucks, or you could print this. It's a design that roughly costs $1. It's very easy to print, slots perfectly together with your existing Joy-Con, and feels oh so much better. It adds proper mouse ergonomics and gives it that Mario panache with the appropriate Koopa turtle shell flair. So in actuality, this accessory turns your mouse into a turtle, and it doesn't get more confusing than that. The Switch 2 finally added video chat, so you can cheer on your friends in a positive and constructive way that definitely never turns into trash talk, regardless of how competitive your online games become. Nintendo made a smart decision. The Switch 2 works with basically any USB-C webcam. Nintendo sells an official one for about $55, but you can literally use any old $10 webcam and a 20-cent 3D printed mount that clips right onto the dock. Zero cable chaos, zero extra cost. Perfect for visually expressing your disappointment in your friends. All right guys, ready to play?
Hey Wes, I know you just hit me with a blue shell, but I just can't help but notice how much you have grown as a player in Mario Kart.
Thanks. You know, Dad, I obviously learned from the best. Taught me everything I need to know, both in Mario Kart and, to be honest, in life.
Hey Wes, coming up on your left.
No worries, Uncle Sean.
Wesley, as your uncle, I've learned many lessons, mainly by playing Mario Kart. You're a great kid. Never forget that. Poppins, that's really poor sportsmanship. Why would you say something like that?
I agree, Poppins. Why would you say such hurtful things?
Yeah, wait, how do we know what the dog is saying?
The Switch 2 is great on the couch, but it really shines on long car rides, right up until your arms give up or someone starts throwing elbows for hog on the Switch. I've tried the classic solution of precariously pinning it between my knees and pretending that it's comfortable. It is not. So we have two particular solutions. The first is this visor mount that clips onto the sun visor and completely holds the Switch up. The passenger gets a hands-free screen, way less glare, and less cramped arms. In the back seat, this headrest mount basically turns the back seat into the most desirable spot in the car. Snap the Switch in, hand out some Joy-Cons, and suddenly that 8-hour drive to visit relatives that you hardly know and smell weird. It also solves the classic backseat argument of who's holding it? Because the answer is nobody. The car's holding it. The car is in charge now. Here's where the asterisk in 3D printed accessories comes in. This next one isn't printed, but is made using the printer. One of the cool things about the Bambu H2 platform is that the tool head swaps out like a cartridge in the old Nintendo systems. Pop in your cutter module, load your vinyl, and suddenly your 3D printer is a vinyl cutter. You could buy a generic vinyl wrap off Amazon, or you can cut your own design in your own color with the H2's overhead camera, helping you line everything up perfectly. And if your spouse is on the fence about you buying a 3D printer, just tell them it's a vinyl cutter that can also 3D print. This is definitely win-win territory. The stock dock works fine, but it looks a little unfinished. This printed cover just slides over the top and cleans up the look. It allows you to add a variety of themes to your dock that fits your own personal taste. It's like choosing an outfit for your Switch to wear. Instantly classy, definitely questionable, but hey, this is 3D printing. Let's turn this design up to an 11. Why would we settle for a generic dock when we can print a fully functional dock that is shaped like the classic piranha plant from the Mario games? A little bit of assembly is required, along with some minor cable management, but once it's assembled, there is really nothing like it you can buy. 3D printing for the win. Remember the mouse turtle from earlier? This leg strap mouse pad exists so that you can use this on the couch without hunting for a coffee table. In addition to printing the actual mouse pad, this accessory also uses a part of the Ring Fit adventure game, which includes a little resistance ring, which we won't be using, rather, it uses the elastic strap that comes with the game. Strap this to your thigh, drop the Joy-Con mouse on the top, and boom! You've turned your leg into a portable mouse pad, which is perfect for games like Civilization 7, Metroid Prime 4, or my personal favorite game to pair with the mouse function, spreadsheets! So that's 10 accessories printed cheaper, printed better, or simply printed because nobody else bothered to make them. All the files are linked below in the description because, hey, they're free. Go print your favorite one. And because there was so much stuff to cover, this is now part 1. This was the reasonable stuff. Part 2, things get a little out of hand. We're printing Switch accessories that have no business existing, but thanks to the marvel of 3D printing, they do now. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss part 2, drop a comment with which accessory you're printing first, and as always, let's make something awesome together.